Italy, 1939. The cold had settled over the Finnish forests, covering the trees and hills in a thick blanket of snow. Small villages, nestled in the valleys, quivered under the looming threat of the Soviet invasion. Among them, 15-year-old Simo Heha, still a boy in the eyes of most, moved quietly among the woods near his home. Though he had not yet become the legendary sniper history would remember, his courage and instincts were already being tested in ways most adults could barely imagine. Today, Simo would embark on missions that demanded bravery beyond his years, missions that would etch his name into the whispered stories of the people of Lapland. Every day, he ventured into the forest, learning to blend into the landscape like a shadow, moving with careful, deliberate steps that left barely a trace in the snow. Each tree, each rock, each drift of snow became a part of his map, guiding him safely through the labyrinth of white. The wind whispered through the pines, carrying with it both danger and opportunity, and Simo's sharp ears caught every creak of branches, every crunch that might betray his presence. Snow crunched softly beneath his boots, the trees bending gently in the wind as if warning him to remain silent. He watched enemy patrols at a distance, memorized their routes, and noted every detail: the glint of metal, the direction of their march, the sound of their boots on frozen ground. His eyes were trained to pick up the smallest movements, the slightest shift in shadow, anything that might indicate an approaching threat. With each observation, he gathered intelligence that would save lives, information that adults would use to plan movements, ambushes, and defenses. Despite his small frame and youth, he moved with the precision and awareness of a seasoned soldier, earning the trust of adults who often marveled at his skill. He learned to anticipate danger before it appeared, to read the subtle signs in the landscape that revealed whether an enemy patrol was near or a safe passage awaited. Simo's days were long and dangerous, yet filled with a singular purpose. He carried notes, sketches, and messages back to his family and local militia members, every step of the journey fraught with potential disaster. Wolves, frostbite, or careless footsteps could end his life, but he pressed on, driven by a quiet determination to protect his village. At times, he would crouch for hours in a snow-laden ditch, barely breathing, watching Soviet troops march past, unaware of the boy hiding in the whiteness. He became a ghost, a rumor whispered among the adults, a child who knew the forest like the back of his hand, moving unseen and untouchable, yet carrying the weight of intelligence that could turn the tide in small skirmishes or save countless lives. As the days turned into weeks, Simo's confidence grew, yet so did the stakes. He began to understand the cost of even a minor mistake. The wrong step on ice, the faint snap of a twig underfoot, the misreading of a patrol's schedule. And he learned to internalize fear, to let it sharpen his senses rather than freeze him in place. Adults entrusted him with greater responsibilities, mapping enemy encampments, marking safe paths, and guiding messengers through forests that seemed endless and merciless. Every success bolstered his reputation. Every narrow escape reinforced his belief in his own abilities. The villagers spoke of him in hushed tones, calling him the boy who walks unseen, their admiration tempered with anxiety over the peril he faced each day. Even in the harshest weather, Simo continued his missions. He became intimately familiar with the patterns of snowstorms, the way frost formed on branches, the sounds of predators in the forest. He could navigate through blizzards that would disorient even the most experienced adult scouts, moving silently across frozen streams and ice-covered slopes, always alert, always calculating. Each night, when he returned home, frostbitten and exhausted, he would warm his hands by the stove and listen to his father's praise mingled with worry. The young boy who had once played in the woods for fun had now become a vital thread in the network of survival. A child whose courage and skill bridged the gap between innocence and war. By the end of the first winter of the war, Simo Heiha had already completed dozens of reconnaissance missions, each more dangerous than the last. He had memorized countless patrol patterns, mapped hidden pathways through forests and hills, and delivered crucial intelligence to soldiers and villagers alike. Despite the ever-present threat of Soviet soldiers, frostbite, and exhaustion, he continued his work without complaint. His youthful resilience, combined with his sharp mind and keen instincts, made him an indispensable asset to his community. Even adults who had lived through many winters and battles were astonished by his composure and bravery. Simo's early experiences in the forests of Lapland laid the foundation for the man he would become, the sniper who would later earn the moniker White Death. But these formative months already told a story of courage, cunning, and the extraordinary feats of a boy growing up in the shadow of war. The dangers were constant. German and Soviet patrols roamed the forests unpredictably, and the biting cold of the Finnish winter could be as deadly as any enemy bullet. Simo Heiha moved cautiously, using every skill he had learned since childhood to navigate the snow-laden landscape without leaving a trace. He learned to treat the forests as both ally and enemy, reading the subtle signs in the environment. The way the snow shifted under a branch, the faint footprints in frozen streams, the sounds of distant boots echoing across the valleys. Every mission demanded patience, precision, and nerves of steel. ... A single wrong step could betray his presence and lead to capture, imprisonment, or death. Yet Simo persisted, understanding that his observations were not just tasks, they were lifelines for the soldiers and villagers who depended on him. Each night, he returned home exhausted, his fingers numb, breath clouding in the icy air, but with a quiet sense of accomplishment that only those who risk everything can know. As the weeks passed, Simo's confidence and skill grew at a remarkable pace. He began to anticipate enemy movements almost instinctively, predicting patrol schedules and choosing safe paths for himself and anyone he guided through the forests. From hidden vantage points atop snow-covered ridges or behind dense stands of pines, he observed soldiers as they marched unknowingly beneath him, cataloging their positions, the weight of their packs, the timing of their shifts, and the layout of their temporary encampments. Each observation provided critical intelligence that allowed Finnish troops to avoid ambushes, plan counterattacks, and fortify positions. Simo's youth, which might have seemed a liability in other circumstances, became his greatest advantage. His small size and quiet, deliberate movements allowed him to remain unseen, a ghost in the snow, as he delivered information that would save lives and sometimes entire platoons. Every mission pushed Simo to the limits of endurance. Temperatures fell below -30 degrees Celsius. Wind howled across the ridges, and snowdrifts swallowed trails that he had memorized only hours before. The forests were alive with danger, not only from the enemy, but from nature itself. Wolves and lynxes stalked silently, unseen but always present. Icy rivers threatened to sweep away an unwary step, and frostbite could paralyze hands or feet in minutes. Yet he adapted, learning to move with the rhythm of the land, to use the cold to his advantage, and to become one with the forest. Even the smallest details, shadows, light reflecting off snow, the creak of a branch under weight, were vital cues he interpreted with extraordinary skill for someone so young. Adults marveled at his intuition, whispering about the boy who could vanish into the forest, yet return with precise intelligence, often traveling alone over dangerous terrain without hesitation. Simo's daring did not go unnoticed. While most children his age were confined to homes and chores, he became a crucial part of Finland's defensive network. He carried messages, mapped patrol routes, and shared intelligence that informed strategic decisions. The Finnish soldiers learned to trust the boy's reports implicitly, despite his youth. His bravery inspired others, showing that courage was not measured by age, but by the willingness to act when it mattered most. Simo's adolescence was shaped not by playgrounds or schooling, but by the forests, the freezing cold, and the constant presence of mortal danger. Each mission reinforced his calm under pressure and his understanding of human behavior, how soldiers moved, where they were most vulnerable, and how to anticipate their actions without being seen. Even in the dead of winter, Simo displayed a remarkable combination of patience, speed, and intelligence. He would lie in the snow for hours, motionless, barely breathing, as enemy scouts passed just meters away, unaware of the boy who silently observed them. Each success made him bolder, yet he remained meticulous, aware that a single mistake could mean disaster. By the end of his first months in these clandestine operations, Simo Heiha had already participated in countless reconnaissance missions that tested his courage, endurance, and wits. These formative experiences in the forests of Finland not only saved lives, but also laid the foundation for the legendary sniper he would become, a man whose skill, patience, and bravery would be remembered worldwide. Even at 15, Simo had proven that youth is no barrier to heroism, and that one small figure moving carefully through the snow could alter the course of events in a world at war. One of the harshest winters arrived, with temperatures plunging to -30 degrees Celsius, and snowstorms that could obscure even the most familiar paths. The forests of Finland became a frozen labyrinth, where every step could betray one's presence to the enemy. On one particularly dangerous mission, 15-year-old Simo Heiha found himself almost face-to-face with a Soviet patrol moving cautiously through the snow. He froze, pressing his body low against the icy ground, heart pounding in his chest, every muscle tensed, every breath measured. Using all the training and instincts he had developed over countless days of reconnaissance, he remained perfectly still, blending seamlessly with the snow-covered terrain. The patrol moved within mere meters of his hiding spot, soldiers chatting softly, inspecting their rifles, oblivious to the boy observing them. Simo's small frame, usually a source of vulnerability, had become his greatest asset, allowing him to go unnoticed in the midst of lethal danger. In that instant, he felt the full weight of his responsibility. Every detail he recorded, every observation he made could mean the difference between life and death for the soldiers depending on his intelligence. The risk heightened his senses, sharpened his focus, and steeled his courage, embedding in him the quiet determination that had carried him safely through countless perilous encounters before. The harsh conditions only added to the challenge. Snowdrifts that could reach his shoulders hid both friend and foe, and icy winds whipped across ridges, numbing fingers and toes, making each movement laborious. He learned to use the natural environment as both shield and tool, pressing against tree trunks, slipping silently between shadows, and letting the whiteness of the snow cloak his presence. Every mission required patience measured in minutes and hours, and Simo quickly understood the importance of timing, observation, and intuition. His youth, far from being a disadvantage, allowed him to maneuver through areas adults might find too precarious or exhausting. Each time he returned home safely, he did so silently, carrying knowledge that would help strategists and soldiers make decisions in a war that threatened his village, his family, and his country. Simo's reputation as a meticulous and fearless observer quietly grew, even if most adults hesitated to fully acknowledge the role a teenager played in such dangerous intelligence work. By 1940, Simo had completed dozens of reconnaissance missions, each one testing his endurance and resolve to new limits. He had memorized the layout of forests, the timing of patrols, and the sounds that betrayed enemy presence long before they were seen. His reports became invaluable. Villagers and Finnish soldiers trusted the information of a 15-year-old who could move undetected across frozen landscapes. Adults marveled at his composure under extreme pressure, but Simo cared little for recognition. Every observation, every carefully recorded movement of enemy soldiers was aimed at protecting lives, safeguarding communities, and enabling Finnish forces to anticipate attacks or avoid deadly traps. The forest had become his classroom, the battlefield his training ground, and each day presented new lessons in patience, observation, and courage. He learned to read subtle signs in the snow, detect movement from afar, and blend into his surroundings in ways that kept him safe while serving a greater purpose. Simo's adolescence was unlike that of most teenagers. While others played or attended school, he spent days in the biting cold, watching, learning, and reporting. The forest was both mentor and adversary, teaching him survival skills, resilience, and the profound responsibility that came with holding knowledge that could alter the course of a fight. Every patrol he observed, every enemy camp he mapped, and every route he memorized strengthened not only Finnish defenses, but also his understanding of courage. By facing danger repeatedly, he cultivated patience, mental discipline, and a sense of strategy that few adults could match. These early experiences in espionage and reconnaissance would later form the foundation of his legendary skill as a sniper. But even then, Simo Häyhä's heroism was defined by silent observation, calculated risks, and unwavering resolve. His story exemplified the truth that courage knows no age, and that a young boy, moving carefully through the snow and trees of Lapland, could make an extraordinary difference in a time of war. Through these early missions, Simo Häyhä laid the foundation for what would become an extraordinary military career. Even as a teenager, his ability to move unseen through the dense Finnish forests, observe enemy positions, and relay crucial information demonstrated a level of skill and composure far beyond his years. Each mission was a test of courage and intellect, requiring patience, sharp senses, and the constant awareness that a single misstep could mean capture or death. The small size and quiet demeanor that many might have seen as weaknesses became his greatest strengths, allowing him to slip past patrols, hide among snowdrifts, and observe the enemy from concealed vantage points. With every successful reconnaissance, Simo not only provided life-saving intelligence to Finnish forces, but also built the foundation of confidence in his own abilities, understanding that bravery was not about the absence of fear, but the mastery of it in moments when lives hung in the balance. A harsh Finnish winter added another layer of danger to every mission. Snowstorms could appear without warning, erasing tracks and making navigation treacherous. Sub-zero temperatures turned the forest into a frozen maze, where visibility was limited and each sound carried farther than expected. Simo learned to read subtle changes in the environment. The crunch of snow under heavy boots, the glint of sunlight off rifle barrels, the faint trails left by enemy scouts. He memorized every path, every tree, and every hidden depression in the ground that could serve as cover. Even in situations where the patrols moved unpredictably, Simo could anticipate their routes, timing his movements so precisely that he remained undetected, a ghost among the trees. These skills not only ensured his survival, but also saved the lives of countless soldiers who relied on the intelligence he gathered, with a combination of instinct, training, and courage that defied his years. By undertaking such dangerous missions at only 15, Simo Haya became a figure of quiet heroism, known among his community and the soldiers he aided as someone who could be trusted with the most critical tasks. His work required more than just stealth. It demanded emotional control, discipline, and a willingness to confront mortal danger without hesitation. Facing enemy patrols, treacherous terrain, and the relentless bite of winter, he acted with the precision and awareness of a seasoned operative, all while remaining a teenager in a world suddenly demanding adult levels of responsibility. The lessons he learned during these formative months, the importance of patience, observation, and courage, would stay with him throughout his life, shaping not only his military career, but his approach to every challenge he would later face. The story of young Simo Haya is remarkable because it reveals how extraordinary courage can emerge in the youngest and seemingly least powerful among us. While adults often bore the brunt of battle and strategy, it was a teenage boy moving silently through forests under extreme conditions who collected information that saved lives and influenced the course of local defense operations. These early missions laid the groundwork for his legendary sniper skills, but more importantly, they showcased the qualities that defined his character: fearlessness, resourcefulness, and unwavering commitment to protecting others. Simo's teenage heroics demonstrate that bravery is not measured by age or size, but by the determination to act in moments of great danger, embodying a legacy that would inspire generations long after the guns fell silent. Even after the Winter War ended, the memory of these early missions remained vivid for Simo. He carried with him the lessons learned in frozen forests, the discipline of remaining invisible in the face of mortal threats, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing that his actions directly saved lives. While he would go on to earn fame for his extraordinary marksmanship and role as a sniper, it was these adolescent experiences, moving stealthily through snow-covered trees, mapping enemy positions, and outsmarting danger with nothing but wits and courage, that first marked him as a hero. The tale of young Simo Haya reminds us that sometimes the most profound acts of bravery are quiet, unseen, and performed by those we least expect, proving that age is never a barrier to making a difference when the world demands it most.